Grumpy, grumpy, choo, choo. Grumpy, grumpy, choo, choo. So, Steve, or grumpy, grumpy, choo, choo, as I might call you now. How do you feel about unicorns? What are your thoughts on unicorns, Steve? Grumpy, grumpy, choo, choo.
Oh, I just did that. Really? Yeah.
Tell me what you think about unicorns.
Yeah, we did it last night.
Oh, we were supposed to.
Don't take no. Damn it, grumpy, grumpy, choo, choo. We'll come back to you. What are your thoughts on unicorns?
She's copying my bad.
I don't care, Lindsay. What are your thoughts on unicorns? Happy gay. Thank you for that. You, what is your thoughts on unicorns? Woman in the dress, what are your thoughts on unicorns?
They're dangerous but awesome.
Alright, that response was gay. Sam, what are your thoughts on unicorns? The real or fake? There you have it.
Hi. They're real.
What are your...
What?
I'm sorry.
So what was that about rectums again? One more time.
Something about stretching a rectum.
Ah, okay. Stretching a rectum.
They're real.
That's what you have. That's,
Stretch.
I don't even...
What's up?
I don't even want to talk to you. You're a creepy pedophile.
Wait.
No!
No?
This is my documentary about unicorns.
Okay. Can I help?
Grumpy, grumpy, choo, choo. What are your thoughts on unicorns? Don't go into your notebook. Don't you flip that page.
I did this one wrong.
She did.
That's alright.
Which one? Point it to it again.
10.
10?
Not unicorn related.
10.
You know.
There, 10.
A lot of people want to shave Steven's head on the last day of class English.
Can we?
Yeah?
Do that?
I think it'd be funny.
We're gonna stave Grumpy, grumpy, choo, choo's head. Can I be there? What period is it?
I freaked out on
Yeah, I can be there. I have lunch.
I'm gonna be there.
Kill people.
I will tell. Yeah.
He just shuts off.
It's something.
It's like the camera's stealing his soul.
Bring the yarn again.
Grumpy, grumpy, choo, choo.
I found like my entire bag of it. It's just sitting in my room. Good on big, good on big. Are you Russian now? Yes. Actually.
Mine.
Good for you.
Okay.
You ass.
I feel like we should ask everyone.
Just walk around.
What they think about
I'm
unicorns?
gonna ask everyone what they feel about unicorns.
And
Hey.
Zach,
No.
How do you feel about unicorns? What are your thoughts on unicorns? What are your thoughts on unicorns?
Absolutely love
Go to Noah.
Yeah.
Go to Noah, Shane.
Unicorns are amazing. Why?
I don't know. I'm just doing a documentary about unicorns.
Documentary about
Well,
unicorns.
unicorns are the most amazing things ever.
Why, Sam?
When you ride a, have you ever rode a unicorn?
I'm afraid I haven't had that
It is
privilege.
amazing.
He's
Wow.
also been on acid. So.
No, it's
Whatever.
majestic.
Whatever. It's the same
Say
thing.
something majestic.
No, say they are.
They are majestic, just like her stretching rectums. You know. And
There you have it. Unicorns and stretching rectums.
Yes.
Same thing. What are your thoughts on unicorns?
unicorns are like awesome. I have a sister and she's a unicorn.
Wow.
I'm riding your sister.
Wow. End of